Good morning, students. Now coming to the important chapter morphology of flowering plants. First, coming to root, stem, and leaf. Root, stem, and leaf. Students, every angiospermic plant is represented by two parts, root system and shoot system. One is root system and shoot system. Okay, root system is usually found in the soil, grows positively geotropic manner, but a shoot is present outside to the ground, grows positively phototrophic manner. So growth of root and shoot system is quite reverse. Okay. The main axis of the root system is called the root. Main axis of the root system is called root. Okay. In case of dicots, taproot system is there. Taproot system. What is taproot system? It is developed from radical, direct elongation of the radical into the ground, leading to the formation of taproot. It produces several lateral roots. Lateral roots are originated endogenously, and it produces several rootlets and root cases, etc. Such root system is called taproot system. Is common in dicotyledonous plants. Similarly, in case of monocots, fibrous root system is there. Fibrous root system is there. Here radical is absent. Initially radical is there, but soon it was replaced by a tuft of slender identical roots. Such roots are called fibrous roots. But in case of some plants, monstera, okay, and monstera and banyan. In case of this monstera and banyan, roots may be developed from any part of the plant body other than radical. Such roots are called adventitious roots. Example, monstera and banyan. So, root systems are two types: taproot system, fibrous root system. And adventitious root system is also found in some mangoes like monstera and banyan. Okay. Generally, this root system is represented by three parts, three regions. One is, for example, this is the root. Okay. This is root cap. Root cap. Just above the root cap, there is a region of meristematic zone. Number of cells, actively dividing cells are there, and it is followed by elongation zone, and this is maturation zone. Maturation zone. So root hairs are present in maturation zone. Maturation zone is also called root hair zone because number of unicelled tubular root hairs are present in maturation region. So that maturation region is also called root hair zone. So correct sequence from tip to base, the zones are meristematic zone, elongation zone, maturation zone. Maturation zone is also responsible for absorption of water and minerals because root hairs are there. Now coming to modifications. Okay, modifications. So first modification, root modification. This is storage roots. Okay, storage roots. Some roots they store food material inside the root. Some plants store food material inside the root. They become bulbed and tuberous. They are called storage roots. In some members, the storage roots mean taproot store food material. Daucus, radish, and beta vulgaris, beetroots. But in some members, fibrous roots also store food material. Example, asparagus, they are also called fasciculated roots. But in some members, hypomia, sweet potato, adventitious root is present. Only one adventitious root present at each and every node is store food material and form tuberous roots and bulb roots. So, these are the storage roots. Now coming to second one, this is prop roots or pillar roots. Prop roots or pillar roots. In case of banyan tree, some roots they are formed from aerial branches and grow positively geotropic manner. Later they become pillar-like structures that provide mechanical support. So provide mechanical support. And third one, stilt roots. Okay, stilt roots. In case of sugarcane and maize, some adventitious roots are formed from the lower nodes of the stem and they provide mechanical support. These roots are also mechanical supporting roots. And fourth one, this is nematopores. So nematopores are also called breathing roots and also called respiratory roots. Generally they are present in mangroves or halophytes. Some of the roots developed from normal branches of the root inside the ground. They grow positively apogeotropic manner. They contain minute pores. They are called nematodes. They help in absorption of oxygen from atmosphere. They help in breathing. Best examples, Avicennia and Rhizopora. Okay. Now coming to the fifth one, velamin roots. Also called epiphytic roots. These velamin roots are epiphytic roots. Generally they are present in epiphytes. They are freely hanging in atmosphere and they absorb moisture from atmosphere. Example, Vanda and Vandita. Then next one is this is parasitic roots. Okay. These parasitic roots are also called Hastoria. So some of the plants dependent on another plants for their nutrition. They are called parasites. Plant provide nutrients to parasites is called host. The roots of these parasites they enter into the xylem and phloem. Parasites are also divided into two types: complete parasites and partial parasites. Incomplete parasites, their root systems they enter into the not only phloem and xylem, they also absorb water, minerals and food materials. But in incomplete parasites, okay, they absorb only water and minerals, are able to maintain photosynthesis and able to maintain the preparation of their own food materials. Complete stem parasites, Cuscuta. Incomplete stem parasites, Viscum loranthus. Complete root parasites, Vorabanki, Berenophora, Rafflesia. Incomplete root parasites, Striga and Santa. They are the examples. Now coming to another one. This is nodular roots. Okay, nodular roots. Generally, these nodular roots are present in legumes. The roots of legumes they contain very small nodule-like structures called nodular roots. They contain rhizobia, bacterium rhizobia, able to nitrogen fixation and maintain the improvement of nitrogen compounds in the soil. That is nodular roots. Generally, they are present in legumes like groundnut and pea and bean, etc. They are present in this type of plants. Similarly, the eighth type of modification, this is photosynthetic roots. Photosynthetic roots are also called assimilatory roots. In case of Teniophyllum, roots they are green, flattened, leaf-like. They maintain photosynthesis. Such roots that maintain photosynthesis are called photosynthetic roots. Okay. there are total 8 types of root modifications. Students, now coming to the stem. Okay. So this stem, the main axis of the shoot system is called stem. It is divided into number of nodes and internodes, and every node is also consists of some amount of leaves. Stem, it's play very significant role in the conduction of food materials and water from the root to the shoot, and to spread the leaves to the proper sunlight, and provide roots. It helps in preparation of food materials, etc. This is the stem. Generally, stems are of 3 types. One is underground stems. Okay, underground stems, and sub-aerial stems, and also aerial stems. There are total 3 types of stems: underground, sub-aerial, and aerial. So these underground stems are one. This is a rhizome. One is a rhizome. Okay. Best example, rhizome. This is a horizontally growing underground stem modification. Okay. Nodes and internodes are there. Dorsi-ventrally differentiated structure. Example, curcuma and musa and turmeric. These are the best examples for curcuma, musa, turmeric examples for rhizome. And second one, this is palm. This is vertically growing underground stem. This is example Colocasia and Amarcopalus. And third one, this is stem tuber. Okay, example Solanum tuberosum, potato. Eye spots maintain vegetative reproduction. And other one, this is bulb. Okay, example Allium cepa. Allium cepa, Allium cepae. The bulb which is covered by tunic, that is called tunicated bulb. Without tunic is called non-tunicated bulb. Similarly, sub-aerial stem modifications are 3 types. One is runners. Example, oxalis, grasses, strawberry. And second one, stolons. Okay, jasmine, nereal. Example, stolons. And succus. Example, musa and chrysanthemum. Musa and chrysanthemum. And other one is opsids. Opsids. Example, pistia and eichhornia. Pistia and eichhornia. There are total 4 types of underground stem or sub-aerial stem modifications. Aerial stem modifications are also 5 types. One is tendrils. Okay, tendrils. Pumpkin, watermelon, and cucumber. Tendrils are developed from axillary bud. In whites, grapes, tendrils are developed from terminal bud. And second one, this is thorns. Bougainvillea is the best example, thorns. They help in protection. And in Bougainvillea, axillary bud is developed into the thorn. And third one, this is pillowclads. Pillowclads. So pillowclads, in case of Opuntia, green and flattened. In case of Euphorbia, green, cylindrical. In case of other plants like Casuarina, needle shaped. Needle shaped. And next modification, this is cladodes. Cladodes. Example, asparagus. Asparagus is one of the best example. Cladodes. Okay, single internodal branches develop, single internodal branches. Okay, the perform photosynthesis are called and bulbils. Bulbils. So bulbils is only the vegetative, only the aerial stem modification that maintain vegetative reproduction. Okay, vegetative bulbils are present in Diasporia. and floral bulbs are present in agave. So they are stem modifications, underground stem modifications, subaerial stem modifications, and next one is aerial stem modifications. Now coming to the leaf. The green flattened lateral appendage that maintain photosynthesis, gases exchange, and transpiration, that is considered as leaf. So leaf is represented by leaf base and petiole and lamina and stipules. Stipules. There are total 3 parts, 4 parts. In case of grasses, sheet in leaf base is there. But in case of legumes, pulvinous leaf base is there. The swollen, spongy leaf base. Swollen, spongy leaf base is called pulvinous leaf base. Okay? So, the arrangement of weeds in leaf, that is called venation. Venation. This is venation. Venation in dicots. This is reticulate. Okay? But in monocots, this is parallel venation. Okay? Parallel venation. Venation in dicots is reticulate venation. However, parallel venation is found in some dicots like Eryngium and Conopin. Most of the monocotyledonous plants, they contain parallel venation, but exceptionally in Smilax and Dioscorea, venation is reticulate venation. There are some exceptions. Venation is. Now coming to another point, this is leaf types of leaves. Simple leaves, okay, and compound leaves. Simple leaves are represented by only one lamina. If the incisions are there, incisions that do not touch the midrib, that is simple leaf. Compound leaves, 2 types, pinnately compound leaf and palmately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf, one of the best example is neem, and palmately compound leaf, silk cotton. Silk cotton is the best example. The arrangement of leaves on the stem, this is called phyllotoxy. Phyllotoxy. Arrangement of leaves on the stem is called phyllotoxy. Phyllotoxy is of 3 types. One is alternate phyllotoxy. Alternate, sunflower and hibiscus and ficus and their examples. Okay, and opposite phyllotoxy. Opposite phyllotoxy, Calotropis, okay, and Boa, okay, and coral phyllotoxy, example Trillium and Nerium and Alstoria. So, arrangement of leaves on the stem and leaves is called this is phyllotoxy, alternate phyllotoxy. Only one leaf is present at one node. Opposite phyllotoxy, 2 leaves present at opposite to each other at each and every node. And third one, coral phyllotoxy, Alstonia nerium. Many leaves are present in a circle at each and every node. And now coming to the modifications, tendrils. Example, P. Upper leaflets of pinnately compound leaf, they are converted into tendrils in a pea plant. Second one, spines. Example, cacti. Okay, they not only control the rate of transpiration but also protection in a function. And third one, this is scale leaves. Example, underground stems like allium and also allium, rhizome, and all of them examples. And other one is pillars. The leaf petioles that perform photosynthesis are called pillars, Acacia melanosida. Acacia, melanocyde. And other one is reproductive leaves. These leaves they maintain vegetative propagation due to presence of some epiphyllous buds. Epiphyllous buds in bryophyllum they are present in the crenate margin of the leaf. Example, bryophyllum. Okay, and other one, this is trap leaves. Trap leaves. The leaves which are present in insectivorous plants and which trap the insects and which absorb the nutrients, nitrogen compounds. Such leaves are called trap leaves. They are present in Nepenthes. They are present in Nepenthes. So, root modifications, stem modifications and leaf modifications, they are the most important, including the examples.